What is something you do not understand until you're older? The importance of proper dental care. And how expensive it is. My parents have spent over $10,000 on dental care in the past 3 years alone. My net worth right now is substantially less than that. How there are so many lonely old people out there. At first I thought they were all just grouchy, but now I see after college how hard it is to maintain so many friendships. Half my social circle has moved out of state, and of the half that's left, so many are popping out kids and don't have time for fun outings. Friendships take way more work, and you've got to do that work or end up with a very small or non-existent circle. That it's okay to outgrow friends and move on, no matter how long you've known them. Life's too short to hold on to any bad relationship. How doing an ordinary task can create pain. I leapt on it wrong, I stood up too fast, I sat down too long, I drank water too hard. That you're never really there. Life is constantly in flux, and you aren't going to get to a place where you're suddenly done and it all just works. Friendship is based on quality, not quantity. I am with you 100%, popularity doesn't really matter once you're an adult. Wanting to eat healthy, I know, right? I'm actually quite fond of broccoli now. The older I have gotten, the less social I have felt I to be. Instead, I appreciate creating lasting bonds with a fewer, more special people. Need. That adults don't actually have all the answers. When a child first catches adults out, when it first walks into his grave little head, that adults do not always have divine intelligence, that their judgments are not always wise, their thinking true, their sentences just, his world falls into panic desolation. The gods are fallen and all safety gone. And there is one sure thing about the fall of gods, they do not fall a little, they crash and shatter or sink deeply into green muck. It is a tedious job to build them up again, they never quite shine. And the child's world is never quite whole again. It is an aching kind of growing. Steinbeck, East of Eden. You are not the center of the universe. The public really doesn't care what you do. They are too busy living their own lives just like you. So, don't worry about looking silly or not greeting people happy birthday because FACEB0OK alerted you. This. The public really doesn't care what you do. The faster people, particularly teenagers who think everyone is looking at them all the time, learn that nobody cares as much as you ever will, the happier you will be. I spent years not going to the gym and participating in gym class and not going to school dances and my own prom because I was so self-conscious of how I looked. I was a bigger kid, that I missed out on a lot because I swore men at the gym would laugh at me. Or kids would laugh at me. Everyone is just looking at themselves. How good it feels to be young. As Andy Bernard once said, I wish there was a way to know you were in the good old days before you actually left them. How short your life will feel. When you get to an age where you're closer to your death than your birth. It'll feel like it went by too fast. That it doesn't actually feel any different to be older. When you're a kid, people always refer to when you grow up as if at some point you will be grown up. I still feel like a 17-year-old who's just given more and more responsibilities. I'm often wondering, why do people trust me with this task, until I realize, oh yeah, probably BCS, I'm an adult with experience. Who'd have thought? You keep growing as a person forever, but you'll never feel grown up. First revelation is that not everyone has your best interest at heart. After a while you do, however, realize very few people are actually evil. How annoying you must have been as a kid and how difficult you made your parents' lives. As a kid I saw everything as black and white. It's good vs evil, right vs wrong. It turns out the world is very gray, and gets more gray the older I get. Discipline is not about obedience but about self-respect and ambition. It's not about doing what the coach or dad says but about having the will to do what might suck in the short term to achieve one's goals in the long term. The smartest person you know isn't the one who makes everyone else feel stupid, they're the one who makes everyone else feel smart. Many of the rules you had to follow as children really were for your benefit. The cool kids at school were just self-centered idiots. Granger's opinions of you aren't important. So true, though I'm still trying to work on this one. A fellow Redditer once said, why would you listen to someone's opinion if you wouldn't even take their advice? Also, LD like to suggest, be like nature. Nature just is. A tree, clouds, the sky, birds, role models. Whether you think a flower is ugly or looks and smells nice, that flower is just gonna bloom no matter what. Nature doesn't care about anyone's opinion. I always knew my parents loved me, but didn't understand how much sacrifice they made and love they gave to me until I became a father. I had a sister pass away when she was 9 and I was 11. I took it really hard as a child. When my daughter turned 9, I realized exactly how hard it can be on a parent to lose a child so young. I could never imagine going through that as a parent. As a kid, it seems like adults have figured everything out. Once you're getting older, you realize that very few people actually know what they're doing. The rest of us just kinda make shit up as we go. How heartbreaking being a parent is. Taking my daughter to kindergarten, watching her let go on my hand to run off with friends. They are all moments of great pride in watching who she is becoming. But it hurts so bad. I want to scream, wait, come back. I'm the only one who remembers holding her every night till she falls asleep because it was the only way she could. Now she just wants a hug. Every day she takes steps towards more independence and goes farther and farther away. I encourage and am so proud of her. But she is my world, and there was a time when I was her whole world. Now it's my duty to fade into the background as she spreads her wings, and it is a joyous heartbreak. If you grew up in a stable home with a mom and dad who loved each other, you can pick out that folks that didn't have that when you get out in the world. Time is linear. It doesn't circle back. Sure, the seasons will come back, but the situation will be different. And no one gets any younger. What your parents actually went through to support themselves and raise you. It makes you cringe a little when you remember saying dumb teenager stuff like, "You don't know how hard my life is." How my parents didn't punch me in the face after working a gazillion hours and coming home to my pouty bullshit is beyond me. You won't stay young forever. Responsibilities will come and smack you in the face whether you're ready or not. If you don't take care of your body, it'll start breaking down soon enough. If you don't use your time to study, improve, and grow, you'll stagnate. If you keep waiting for tomorrow to actually enjoy life, you'll never do. When we're young we keep thinking we'll always have time. You won't. Time goes by too quickly and you don't want to waste it by not moving forward. My dad once told me, time goes by faster when you get older. As a kid, I thought this was a horrible lie. Nope. The shifts are long, but the weeks are short. Also, I understand now why grown UPS used to ask how old I was all the time. Why adults say certain things are dangerous or not worth the risk. Our brains don't fully develop until around 25, and one of the key things affected is risk assessment. Retirement. Start investing in your retirement now. I don't care how old you are. Start immediately. A 401k and an IRA are great to get started early. Keep contributing and don't cash them out. This is directed to people under 18 equals, even if you're really not like the other girls/boys, and so mature for your age. There is no not gross reasons for an older person to pay any kind of sexual attention to you. It does not make you cool to get on with an older person, that's called a predator, and if they really were cool and a good person they'd be getting with people their own age. Older people can be great mentors or peers when in the context of a hobby, but if you're not having the kind of conversation you'd be having with like a cool uncle/aunt, there might be something unhealthy about the situation. For the 18-25s crowd, big age difference can still be weird and iffy, if people around you are weirded out by your actual partner, and not just by the idea that your partner is way older. Take a step back before discounting their comments. Some couples work great as equals despite the age difference. Some couples are really unhealthy because of the unbalance. Most things really don't matter. You can't change the world, just concentrate on your world. Everyone is doing their best. Their best is not the same as your best. No one is paying as much attention to you as you are. Most strangers will forget they saw you, and probably didn't even notice that toilet paper stuck to your shoe even though you spent the rest of the week mortified about it. That $1,000 is not a lot to have, but is a lot to owe. Save your money. Budget. And always have rainy day fund as backup. Some things we label as kids shows actually have a really meaningful message behind them that we don't always fully see or understand until once we get older. That being a child is awesome. Nah, I prefer being an adult. Yeah, I'm much happier now that I'm an adult. Sure, when I was a kid I had loads of free time, but I was also utterly powerless to make any decisions for myself. Yeah, I didn't have to worry about money, but neither could I buy whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, within reason. No, I didn't have to worry about work stress, but there was plenty of stress that came along with school and I didn't get paid for it. Kids are also little psychopaths with an underdeveloped sense of morality, and piss-poor systems of accountability. I was bullied by some other kids because it was fun for them, and nobody could really do anything about it. Now I'm grown, if another adult did a tenth of the stuff to me that happened at school they would immediately be fired or arrested, and failing that I can fucking move, because I am an adult. Being a kid sucked, being a teenager upwards was way better. You really need to take care of your back, your teeth, and your hearing. There's a lot of good life to be lived on the other side of 50 as long as you can move, eat, and hear. That if an older guy/girl wants to date you, they don't see you as a mature for or age, they are grooming you, or trying to take advantage for your inexperience in life. Teens will think that hanging out with older people must mean that they are cool and special, but no. The older guys are just being creeps. Why truisms exist. So many things that seem like they're just sayings are actually important pieces of information that you come to understand through experience. For instance, I always heard that you need to appreciate the people in your life, and I always thought that I did. But when a lifelong friend committed suicide at 24,1 saw all the ways that LD taken her presence in my life for granted. It took me a while to accept that, but now TVE been identifying the relationships that really matter. Know now that very opportunity to be there for those people is a gift. If I'll ever have kids, I'll try to teach them how to live that way. But most of these lessons are learned by living. Good advice can stop you from making mistakes, but its job is often to help you recognize when you've made one.